Yo, on this haircut today, I will be doing a high to mid skin fade with a slight drop in the back. And just like every haircut, you want to start off either picking out the hair, the client have long hair, or combing out the hair just to make everything nice and neat for you. And you can see me just picking it out. Then I'm going to grab my comb and lay the hairs down just so I can comb the hairs down in the direction that the hair wants to go, just to make my job a lot more easier. And I'm going to comb out the beard since I already got the comb in my hand. To start this fade off, I'm going to start it at the bottom of his vertical bar. And you see me going to start to drop the fade. And I'm also keeping in mind as I'm setting in this line, I'm trying to contour this line to my client's head. And you can give somebody a really nice blurry fade, but if you do not have the fade contour to your client's head shape, your blend might look off. So just keep in mind the placement of your guidelines. They are really important on how you shaping it to the client's head. So next, I picked up my 3-guard and I'm going to start my fading down process. Usually I would start with a 4, but I just knew already that if I would have threw on a 4-guard, I would have been wasting my time. So I just threw on a 3 and I'm just running it straight up. And once I get to the top of his parietal ridge area, I'm going to just flick right out because I do not want to create a harsh line. So I'm just running it straight up and I'm flicking right out. Then I'm going to throw on my 2-guard and I'm going to do the same exact thing. The only difference is I'm not taking it as high as I took my 3-guard. I want the 2 to be right underneath the number 3. Like I'm talking like a centimeter. That's why they call it stacking your guards, because you are literally stacking your guards right on top of each other. And a lot of people might think this is a waste of a step, but I like it because you are knocking out 2 birds in 1 stone. You are clearing out unnecessary bulk. And I know for a fact, after I put down this 2-guard, I would not have to pick this guard up anymore during my fading process. For my next step, I'm going to set in my first guideline, no guard open. And I'm going up about 1 inch to a 1/2 inch. The reason why I'm not making my guidelines super wide, because I have to give myself room to fade. And I'm keeping this guideline very consistent, and I'm following that first initial guideline that I set in with my trimmer. I don't ever like to put in messy guidelines. I like everything neat. All right, to take this line out, I'm going to close my lever up all the way, and I'm going to start to tap at that guideline. As I see that guideline shifting up, I'm going to open up my lever 1 notch, and I'm going to tap at the guideline again. And as it's shifting up for me, when I am halfway in my notches, my line should be completely faded out, and I should be at the top of my guideline when I am halfway in my lever. If the line is not taken out, I would just go back and repeat the same exact steps. And now for the back, you see me doing the same exact thing. Lever close, tap at the guideline. Once I see it shift up, I will open up my lever 1 notch. And when I am at the top of that guideline, I should be halfway on my lever and my guideline should be completely faded out. You can see I still have a little bit of line left. So I went back and repeated the same exact steps and my line is out. And on this side, I'm just going to do the same exact thing. Like, I don't care what haircut I am doing, I'm going to use the same exact system for every haircut. And it don't matter what kind of hair texture the client have. It don't matter what kind of cut the client wants, what type of fade. This is the system that I'm going to use on every single haircut. And that's what a lot of, new barbers struggle with. They change up their system too many times. If you just master your system that you are comfortable with, it's going to treat you right no matter what haircut that you do. Just create a system and stick with it, and it's going to treat you right. Find what works for you and what you are most comfortable doing. All right, my next step, I throw on the 1 guard close, and I'm going up again about a 1/2 inch to an inch, and I'm still keeping this guideline consistent, and I'm keeping that same shape that I created. And you can see his hair is like spacey and it's like real coarse, and I have to go over this guideline multiple times just to get it down to the desired length that I'm looking for. And that's okay. Sometimes hair can be stubborn like that, and you have to do them extra steps to get the fade that you are looking for. And you can see I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing. I'm cutting and I'm brushing. I'm cutting and I'm brushing to see exactly what I'm cutting and what else still needs to be cut. And I'm going over it multiple times to make sure I got it down to its desired length. All right, my next step, I throw on the 1/2 guard by wall, and I am halfway in my lever. Now in this step, I'm just going to basically start feathering out this guideline to lighten it up, preparing to take it out. Now I'm going to close my lever up 1 notch. Now I want to be a little bit lower than I just was with the lever halfway, and I'm using the corner of the blade. Now I am all the way closed, and I want to be at the very bottom of that guideline. I do not want to go any higher because I do not want to risk bringing this fade up. And for the back, I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to start off halfway in the lever, and you see me starting to feather the line out. It's lightening up for me. Once I see it light up, I will close the lever up 1 notch, and I'm going a little bit lower than I just was halfway in the lever. Now you see me close the lever up all the way, and I want to be at the very bottom of the guideline using my corners and using a flick out motion. And you can see my transition is coming together. The fade is starting to look blurry. And for this side, I'm just going to do the same exact thing. And I have people ask me, why do you use the wall guard instead of the Babyliss? Well, I like the wall guard because the teeth are a lot skinnier, and I feel like it take off way more hair than the Babyliss 0.5 guard. Now, I do use the Babyliss 0.5 guard in my system, but I use that guard like for my detailing work and bringing my blends all the way together, because the teeth are a lot more fatter and it's not going to cut as much hair as this wall 1/2 guard will. So I use this wall 1/2 guard just to take out my 1 guideline, and I use the Babyliss 0.5 guard just for my detailing work because the teeth are a lot fatter. And me just knowing my system and my guards, I know if this wall 1/2 guard do not take this line out, I can take off my guard, go lever open, use the corner of the blade, and take out the remaining of that line that the wall 1/2 guard did not take out. Okay, next I threw on the 1.5 guard. Now, when I told you guys I do not have to pick up that number 2 guard no more for my fade, this is where I throw on the 1.5 guard and I start open. And now I want to run this 1.5 guard right underneath that 2. So I am open now, and I'm just going right underneath that 2. I'm basically stacking this 1.5 guard right underneath the 2 now. Then I'm going to close it, and now I want to go a little bit lower than I just was with the 1.5 guard open, and I want to just start to hit the bottom of that guideline, preparing to take it out with the number 1 guard. Now I have my 1 guard on, and I am halfway in the lever, and now I'm just going to start to go to the line and flick out. And you can see my blend is starting to come together. So I'm going to just be doing some lever play. I'm going to be going halfway, back to open, back to halfway, depending on where I'm at in the fade and what I need to take out. I can determine where I need to be at with my lever to take out this guideline and bring my blend to life. Now for the back, we're doing the same exact thing. Halfway, close. Halfway, close, taking that line out. Now, if you've been watching my other videos that I recently been posting when I've been using my JRLs, I really don't use the 1.5 guard when I am using my JRL clipper, just because it have a stretch bracket and the lever, it opens a lot more than my low pros. So with the JRL having a stretch bracket, when I have my 1 guard on and I am all the way open, it's acting as a 1.5 guard and allows you to skip that guard. So now at this part in my fade, I know that I went through my system. My fade is there. This is my rough draft. Now this is the time for me to look at the mirror, to rest my eyes and pick up that Babyliss 0.5 guard and start to really detail this fade. Give it some pop, give it some flavor. Like, this is how you stand out from the rest, by taking that time and actually detailing your fade and making it blurry. I like to call these the Mick blurries, man. Like, this is your best advertisement. You're a walking canvas. It's better than social media. It's better than posting. This is that word of mouth that's going to get more clients in your chair. And detailing takes your fade to the next level. Okay, next, my client like a deeper beard fade, so I ball him out right at the bottom of his earlobe, and you're going to do the same exact thing, but you are fading down now. You start clipper open, you start close, you tap at the guideline, you open it up 1 notch, then when you are halfway, your line should be completely faded out. Then you throw on the 1 guard close, making like a inch transition, going over it multiple times to make sure I got it down to that desired length. Then I throw on the wall half guard. I start halfway, feathering out. Then I will close the lever up 1 notch. Then I will go all the way close and take it out. Then I'm going to throw on the 1.5 guard, starting to lighten up some of that bulk down there, giving myself a lighter transition. I'm going to go open, then I'm going to go close. And it's basically like the same thing like you were just doing a fade, but you were just fading down instead of fading up. Then I'm going to throw on the 1 guard, and I'm just going to knock out that guideline I just put in with the 1.5 guard. I'm going to start halfway, then I'm going to go close, and you have a beard fade. And on this side, I do the same exact steps. Notice I do not switch up my system for nothing. I do the same exact steps no matter what I'm doing. And like I was saying before, if you just stay consistent with one system, put up as much reps as possible. If you don't cheat on your system, man, your system will not cheat on you. And this video is a little bit older. It's probably about 2 months old. I don't even cut with these low pros anymore. And when I was going through it, I was like, oh snap, I forgot I even recorded this video. And the reason why I probably did not cut it, because I did not have the footage of when I was lining up his beard. But I do have a little bit of footage of me actually using the straight razor and me actually lining up his beard, but I don't have it from start to finish. And I'm just finishing off this beard fade now, and look at that fade, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, that's that Mick blur. That's that Mick blurry. And I was kind of upset with myself again when I was going through it, and I was like, bro, like, how did I miss this angle? Man, y'all don't understand, man. These angles that I be trying to get for y'all, man, to get this content out, man, it's not easy. I can tell you that. All right, next we're going to start on his lineup. I'm going to start with the vertical bars using my Cocos. These are like my favorite trimmers. I'm actually thinking about just buying another pair of them, just to have. Like, that's how much I like them, man. They just one-hit quitters, man. I call these them tap and goes. And when you are lining somebody up, you always want to start dead smack in the middle of his forehead, and you want to bring that line straight across. Just make the straightest line that you possibly can. Don't ever rush your edge up. Always take your time. Look in the mirror if you have to. Stand behind the client and look in the mirror. And just take your time when you are doing these edge ups, man. Like, a line is something that I don't rush. It's a valuable key to popping out a fade, man. You can have a very strong fade game, and if your edge up is off, then I feel like it can just mess up the whole haircut. And some people can, give out not so good fades, and they have a very strong edge up game, and it can make the fade look good. And like I said before, I did lose my footage when I started lining up his beard. But here's a little bit of footage of me doing some razor work, just detailing up the beard line, trying to get as sharp as possible. I'm going to the other side, telling him to blow a bubble, give me more attention, so I can just make his lines a lot more straighter and symmetrical. Now that I got everything lined up, I'm going right back in, and I'm just detailing out the fade, man. I'm going clipper open, using the corner of the blade, just doing some point cutting, just trying to knock out some of them dark spots that I see, and really trying to maximize the blend on this fade, man. Like, I'm trying to get this fade stupid blurry, bro. Like, man, I'm trying to, man, y'all don't even understand, man, how much pride I take in detail work, man. Like, I just love cutting hair, bro. Then I throw on the one guard, and you can see where it's a little bit darker. I'm trying to just lighten that up, try to just make this pop a little bit more, and try to just get rid of some of that bulk right there, and try to just give myself a lighter transition. A lot of people might think this is blended, this is good, but my barber eye just sees something different. And right here, my client does not like that straight up look. He kind of like it round. So I just went lever open, and I just freehanded just to round it out for him and not give him that straight up look. And this is how he came in looking. Man, his hair was looking crazy, man. But it's our job as barbers, man, to get these clients back together. And boom, this is how he came out looking. A high to medium skin fade with a slight drop in the back, a deep faded beard. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment. Let me know how I did. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's your boy More Phase, man. I'll see you guys on the next video, and now I'm out ya.